feels like this could be, the Buffalo Bills. They've rolled the roller coaster of this year, but the Chargers are reeling. Felt like they quit last week, quite frankly, and I feel like the Buffalo Bills could absolutely destroy them this week. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, I mean, what is there left for the Chargers to count on at this point? Keenan Allen's going to miss out for the second straight week, and you're left with Austin Eckler, who set season lows in both rushing attempts with 5 last week, rushing yards 9, and his route participation was a season low of 41%. He didn't pick up a single first down against the Raiders. Like, the Raiders are they're a ghost of a team. They're just there for the good vibes and the fun times. But the Chargers are absolutely a team who have completely quit. They struggle massively defending running backs. Like James Cook had a career high 27 touches last week, and we saw that the Bills were just ready to completely lean into him. They really haven't had anything going in the passing game lately. Stefon Diggs has had 5 straight games outside of the top 10, only 1 in the last 8 weeks. So part of me feels like the Bills have to see this as an opportunity where they need to get him going. As you can see on the screen there, the Chargers are the only team in the NFL who rank top 10 in fantasy points allowed to all 4 of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. They haven't got anything out of Stefon Diggs lately. They've had very little out of Gabe Davis. Khalil Shakir, once Dawson Knox came back, has become completely forgotten. So the Bills need to see this as an opportunity to get their players ready for the playoffs or ready for the playoff push. And I think that they should really try to lean into Diggs on this one. But in terms of the Chargers side, there's just not really anybody I'd like to play. I have a semi-final this week where I've got Austin Eckler and I'm debating benching him for Deontay Johnson, which in itself doesn't feel particularly great. The one area where you can kind of get the Bills, though, has been with running backs. We've seen them struggle to defend against running backs in the passing game as well. They've given up lots of receptions. They just placed one of the defensive tackles on IR today. So that is an area where they're slightly more vulnerable. Just can't trust Austin Eckler to do anything at the minute. I think if you're going into a game in week 16, you need to be able to trust your players. You need to be going, okay, I can either trust this player or I'm playing them because of their ceiling. And Austin Eckler, we've just not seen any of that ceiling any time recently.
And I think that the Chargers, look, the season's done. Okay, this season's over. Justin Herbert's not coming back. We've got a new head coach, new GM. They're now in that case where, right, what can we assess what's going to be around in 2024 and beyond? Well, Austin Eckler's a free agent. Austin Eckler's up there in age. They're not bringing him back. So what are they achieving by rolling Austin Eckler out? Why don't they give Josh Kelly, Isaiah Spiller some run and see what they've got in them? Because, they're probably nothing and you're probably not going to build anything around them, but there's a chance they could show something. So I've got a lot of calls wrong this year, but calling Austin Eckler as a non-top 12 back this year is definitely one of my strongest takes so far. A conversation that I genuinely never thought we'd be having, Tom. Last week, Josh Allen completed 7 passes. Okay, we're now in the semi-finals. In Superflex leagues, you have to start Josh Allen. In 1 QB leagues, if the Bills are just going to dominate the Chargers and run the ball all day, are you nervous that Josh Allen could cost you in your semi-final matchup?
No, because the way that Josh Allen's played in recent games, I mean, you go back and over the last 8 games, Josh Allen has scored a rushing touchdown in all but 1 game. And that was against the Jets, where things get funky against the Jets. But Josh Allen has been as steady, he's been the most reliable quarterback option there is this year. His quarterback finishes over the last 8 games, QB 4, 2, 5, 15, 6, 1, 9, and 16. So finishing as QB 16 against the Cowboys, I would have assumed that was in the realm of outcomes, possibly regardless, because the Cowboys defense have been so good. I don't think the way that things play out against the Chargers, we're going to see that. I mean, the Chargers allow the fourth most fantasy points to the quarterback position. They just struggle against anyone, really, because they're just not a good defense. I mean, their top players haven't played well. Derwin James is somebody they poured a lot of money into, and he looks bang average at absolute best. And you start thinking, okay, well, if Josh Allen's running, who's stopping him? And Khalil Mack is probably the only defender the Chargers have who's played well this year. And I can't imagine.
And even he's been boom bust. He's had some shocking games. He had some phenomenal games, but he's had some shocking games mixed in as well.
Massively. I mean, you take out the game against Aiden O'Connell and all of a sudden his stats look much more pedestrian. But Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen needs this kind of get-right game as much as anyone. It wouldn't surprise me to see Josh Allen sitting on the bench by the fourth quarter, but I think by the time that he gets to that situation, he's going to have done enough to, at least deliver you an average Josh Allen performance.
Makes sense. And Rob in the chat on this matchup is asking, Josh Palmer in the flex with Keenan Allen out, would you start him over Tajay Spears?
I would start him over Tajay Spears. I really like Tajay Spears this week, and we can talk about that when we get to that matchup. But I think I'd just lean Josh Palmer because he's the only good wide receiver they've got.
Yeah, I've got Palmer over Tajay Spears this week. If, like Rob, you want to get your questions answered, get them in the comments below. We will answer 100% of the questions whilst we are live. We will answer 100% of the questions afterwards via the text. Get them in the comments below. Tom and I will answer them all week long as we head up to the week of matches.